the war is getting high stakes. These companies are expanding left and right. So it's a literal battlefield right now to gain the market share. And I remember doing the Blinkit in front of him, and he was literally shocked.
80 to 90% is captured by these three players, right? Blinkit, Swiggy,
Instamart.
and Zepto. Zepto is the only one which is not listed right now.
Yeah, they're also planning an IPO and all.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes.
And
But in those three, any idea on who's having the
yes, I
highest?
think
Hi guys, we're back with another podcast, and this week we're gonna talk about very interesting thing, because I think if you're watching this video on your smartphone, the chances are that you guys, and also if you're from a metro city or maybe tier one city, chances are you also have the quick commerce app.
or it might be possible that some people might have ordered munchies from Blinkit or Zomato or
Yes.
Swiggy,
And while
Instacart,
watching
and
these
are
videos, they are
watching-
eating it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that will be a wonderful setup to watch this video in particular, because I think today we're gonna talk about and decode the whole dynamics in the quick commerce industry that's going on currently, because it is turning out to be a very not so quick race. It's turning out to be a pretty long one, and as of now, it's heating up quite well. And just like before ordering, you guys, at least I do that, check out the same thing on every different platform. कहाँ से सस्ता मिल रहा है?
But bro, उसके लिए क्या आ गया ना ट्विटर पे भी we saw
हाँ,
there
that
was
is
some
also that.
app, ना?
But again, उस पे भी drawback है कि क्योंकि हर एक प्लेटफॉर्म का डिस्काउंट अलग अलग होता है, तो after applying that the net value, तो छोटे छोटे गिमिक तो आते रहते हैं. But I think so. Similarly, we also did something same with the companies, not for ordering in, but for analyzing that which one is better. Because now we have two options to invest in: Blinkit through Zomato shares, and Instamart through Swiggy shares. So basically, to decode all that, we have done this analysis, and I think the war is getting high stakes. These companies are expanding left and right.
Yeah, it's actually
yeah.
becoming very, cutthroat.
Very
Basically,
cutthroat,
they're
yeah.
trying to just capture market share.
So it's a literal battlefield right now to gain the market share. There are multiple different differentiation also we're going to talk about, that what these companies are doing to just to become a slightly different better option compared to that competitor. So I think we're going to discuss all this, and we'll get quickly to it then. So I think before we start going into the company specific, we'll say that how this the quick commerce I think it's a different ball game. It's not like food delivery, because there is a time element also involved in this. So if food delivery में क्या है, if you're ordering from your, let's say, your favorite restaurant, the food is super good, you know it, you have tried it multiple times, so you also know that there is time goes behind the making that food, that
You
delicious.
don't mind waiting also.
Exactly. So you plan also accordingly.
Yeah.
कि 8:30 बजे मुझे भूख लगती है, तो I'll order 7:45.
मतलब ऐसा कि हाँ वो टाइम तक एटलीस्ट खाना आ जाए, then I'm going to
Yeah. But I
finish.
think one interesting reason is this sector also thrives in India, quick commerce, which is not a very popular anywhere else. So if, for example, I remember my friend has came from out of country, USA. He forgot something to buy, and then he's like, यार अभी tomorrow मुझे supermart जाना पड़ेगा लेने वगैरह वगैरह.
हाँ,
And I remember doing the Blinkit in front of him, and he was literally shocked. So that is also very foreign concept to the foreigners.
yeah, that is very,
Yeah.
there's no such delivery over there. I mean, वही सब normal delivery वाले ही फिर तुमको लेके आएंगे
Yeah.
20-30 minutes वाला time, but ये quick
Yeah.
delivery of 10
So
minutes का ही
why this work is because India primarily has a very highly density population market. So in that, what happens is even though the number of people are so many, so the cost that the company bears to open a dark store is actually covered pretty easily in India, as opposed to foreigner, where there is maybe, if you take any 1 kilometer radius in USA, there might be much less people compared to India.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. So because of that, second is the market is it in itself is very unorganized as of now. You don't care where your retail groceries come
Kirana
from.
stores,
Yeah.
वो अलग से वो लारी वारी पे
DMart and all those companies have tried to broker it, but still I
But
think
then-
85 to 90% of market is still
and
unorganized.
it will take a lot of time to reach that organized, so might as well play this via the quick commerce
Quick
route.
commerce game, and
Yeah.
add Indian consumers that discount wala mind,
हाँ
value
मतलब
driven.
वो बात सही है, मतलब this at least happens with me. कि अगर if I go on Blinkit,
Yeah.
कुछ कर रहा हूँ order and if I see यार free delivery नहीं मिल रहा है, I'll try and add two or more
Then there is,
small things.
if you
Yeah.
add 100 rupees more, you will get more
हाँ,
20% off.
तो I'll think कि नहीं चल कर लेता है, थोड़ा पैसा तो बच ही रहा है.
So that
Yeah.
the app is smartly trying to increase your ticket size, basically their average order value, and which is working fine because you're getting, let's say, for example, you are ordering in for 1 week earlier. Now, because of the increased ticket size, you might be able to order in for the 2 weeks of supply.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so more or less, it's a smart game as of now. But who's winning? I mean, there are multiple players,
So I
and
think majorly I think yeah there are multiple players, but the majority of the market share I think 80 to 90% is captured by these three players, right?
yeah,
Blinkit, Swiggy,
Instamart,
Instamart, and Zepto. Zepto
Zepto.
is the only one which is not listed right now.
Yeah, that is they're also planning an IPO and all.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes.
And
But in those three, any idea on who's having the
yeah, so I
highest?
think while we were researching, I think we just found out that right, Blinkit has I think around 40% market share,
Okay.
and second comes this Swiggy Instamart with a no sorry, second is Zepto with a 30% market
Yeah,
share.
that's what I thought because Zepto was
Zepto is
actually
high.
pioneer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
Swiggy is last.
Lagging.
I mean, out of these three, it is last with a 20% market share.
Yeah.
So
So
90% is
40, 30, 20,
yeah.
90%. Okay, got it. But I think there are so many new players are also entering, right? Because these big e-commerce players who have already distribution and all those in place. It's like
Uh,
Flipkart, Amazon,
even
even
Reliance and
Tata, Big
Tata, I
Basket
think
is also there.
Reliance tried coming in the quick commerce space
Dunzo,
with Dunzo, right? But that
but
failed
yeah,
very badly.
that was a very miserable story. It's for another time.
It
But
is
I
quick
think
to
very
fail.
quick failure story. But I think as of now, the three-way contest that there is, it's an all-out war because I think what is there, what's the differentiation you can create? Because earlier, for a new age company, capital was a significant what. So if you have a good capital, you can expand quickly and you can get ahead of the competition and gain market share. But that is not what can I say an edge as of now because as we all know, Zomato has raised around $1 billion in its QIP. Swiggy same IPO of BI. So that was also around they raised around 11,300 crore. That's 1.5 billion. And Zepto is again raised around 350 million. That is 3,000 crore in recent round. And plus they are planning their IPO. So that
Post
will be an
merging,
increased
they'll
fund.
get
Yeah.
funds. Yeah.
So capital is clearly no longer differentiation. What else? Tech and automation. So the backbone of the whole quick commerce thing is the tech stack.
Basically, how good
How
you
smart
are
are you to
in
inventory
हाँ
management?
हाँ
How quick your
कि
products
predict
are
करना कि यार
available?
इस एरिया से मेरे को ज्यादा डिमांड आ रही
Correct,
है, इस एरिया में मेरे को
correct.
डार्क स्टोर ये टाइम पे फुलफिल करना है,
Plus the
दैट इज वेरी
delivery
इंपॉर्टेंट.
route and all
हाँ
those navigation system and also the order fulfillment rate. So basically, the more the fulfillment rate, the better it is for you. But I think that also it seems to be lagging because all major players have invested. And that's why they are at this place. Otherwise, they wouldn't have gone out of
obviously.
competition in the early. So that is also not that extremely good mode as of now. Third is dark store network. So as of now, Blinkit leads in this one. So they have around 1,000 plus stores, dark
Dark
stores,
stores
yeah,
across India, right?
across India, correct. So and Instamart has around 600, and Zepto has around 750 to 800. Interestingly, currently Blinkit has given a target that they will take this 1,000 to 2,000 before this year itself,
So
December 25. That's three dark store per day they are adding as of now.
हाँ वो सिंपल मैथ
Yeah,
भी कर
simple
लेते
math.
हैं.
So every day they're adding three dark stores. So that might be a very good differentiation. But again, that also I was listening to Zomato con call. They said that after opening a dark store, it takes around 2 to 3 months before it makes profitable.
हाँ
Break
obviously
even. Sorry, not even
break even,
profitable.
yeah.
Yeah. So earlier 2, 3 plus if they add. So if I recall correctly, 50% of this new addition will be on the existing cities only. The tier top metro cities and
एंड
tier 1
ऑल्सो
cities.
ऐसा कुछ होता है क्या इसमें, वो क्या बोलते हैं अपने वो कैनिबलाइजेशन जैसा कि
Correct.
अगर मैं एक एरिया में है वही एरिया में वापस खड़ा करता हूँ तो वो प्रॉब्लम
हाँ
होगा,
मतलब
वो होगा ही ना.
yeah, that also is there. But they say that the increased number of order will make up for it,
विल
at
मेक
least
अप
for
फॉर
now,
अच्छा.
according to them. Uh, so that was about the dark store expansion. Fourth
And I
is
think it also
delivery
comes to
time.
delivery efficiency also, right? कि भाई 10 मिनट से अगर थोड़ा और कम कर दिया.
Yeah, but I think up to 30 minutes, I personally don't care. So मुझे कुछ भी कोई भी दे रहा है तो if you're giving me let's say 10, 20 rupees, 30 rupees discount, and if you let's say taking 5 minutes extra, I don't mind because
हाँ, obviously.
for as long as it's half an hour, it's still quick enough for me. I don't know about the people, you might guys comment
नहीं,
on
but
that.
in general also I
But that
think
craze, 10 minutes, 7 minutes, 8
वो है कि
minutes,
अरे ब्रो मैं
that
अभी घर
is,
से मंगवा
yeah,
रहा है तो ऐसा फटाफट मेरे
very
पास आ
rarely that
जाएगा.
situation happens when I want something in less than 10 minutes. So, again, I wouldn't count that as a differentiation as of now. I don't know, maybe going forward, it might heat up that much. People might be, again, I don't know.
बट देन वो भी आई थिंक वो एक मार्केटिंग गिमिक ही हो जाएगा कि दैट
Exactly.
वी
Because
आर
there,
ट्राइंग टू.
again, some people are very conscious about it because it also involves the delivery guys' security, right? Because I have literally seen these people break signals and,
वो
doing
इशू
cuts
है
and
ही, वो
all.
आई थिंक इट्स वाइड स्प्रेड ऑन ट्विटर आल्सो नाउअडेज. अ लॉट ऑफ
Exactly.
पीपल
They're not
carry
following signal at all because of they have to.
just
So,
to reach on time. Yeah,
yeah.
so
So that,
might as well not put that burden or that pressure on them. Yeah.
but I think there is no, as I said, not many differentiation left. So they have to kind of do this kind of thing. And lastly, I think the programs that these companies run, the loyalty program for so called. So, for example, Zomato has Zomato Pro. Blinkit doesn't have that much, if I remember.
Zomato, हाँ, Blinkit
Zomato
doesn't.
Pro has for the food delivery, not for the
हाँ,
Blinkit.
for Blinkit I don't think so there are
There
any
isn't any loyalty
loyalty
program, but for
programs.
Swiggy, I remember the Swiggy one, where
Swiggy
they
one.
offer free delivery over 200, plus 200 rupees plus delivery charge. Plus there is some sort of वो extra search fee वगैरह remove. And yeah, and I think Zepto has also Zepto Pass. Not
Again
pretty
same, I
sure about
think
that.
after a certain
Yeah,
benchmark or a threshold तुमको free delivery मिलेगा या कुछ
yeah,
रहेगा.
correct. So that is also there because that is completely on the retention part. But I think right now these companies are focusing on adding new customers. So this is also might be differentiated going forward when the market is completely saturated.
तो बेसिकली एट द एंड आई थिंक वो गेम वही रहेगा ना कि जैसे जितना जल्दी तुम लोग मार्केट शेयर अभी
Yeah.
कैप्चर कर सकते हो जितना बेटर और जितना ज्यादा वो ही तुमको जिताएगा इसके अंदर एट द एंड आई थिंक.
That is also a good strategy, but might not necessarily work because I might not be that loyal for Blinkit. If Instamart comes and say, "Hey, I'll give you the same thing, 100 rupees cheaper,"
बट देन
there
अगर
is no switching cost for me, na,
हाँ
as a,
वो
on a
बात तो
personal
सही है
level.
बट देन आई
Why would I have a brand loyalty for a delivery company?
टू बी
As
ऑनेस्ट.
long as I'm getting my Ashirwad atta on time, let's say 5 minutes plus or minus.
बट हैव यू एवर सीन दिस ऐसा ह्यूज प्राइस डिफरेंस फॉर अ सेम प्रोडक्ट इन ऑल द थ्री प्लेटफॉर्म्स.
I personally have not. Even if I see, let's say, price difference is there, they make up for it by giving discounts and all those things. So, for example, Swiggy's wonderful thing I like is their Swiggy HDFC co-branded card. So that I get 10% discount across the groceries and food.
If I use the HDFC card
Yeah,
to make the
no
payments,
minimum thing. Even if I order 200 rupees thing, I will get a 20 rupees
discount.
discount. So that's a flat 10% off for me, right? Above the discount they're already offering. Something similar might work in the long term, but again,
Hmm.
also that is also coming at the cost of profitability, which I think we're gonna come because
Yeah, because
despite
I
this
think
growth,
all
no,
the quick commerce
yeah,
players are currently
still making loss.
sitting on
Yeah,
losses.
yeah. So that is the thing. Even in fact, the Zomato management also told that we're not gonna focus on profitability
In
in the
the
near
near
term,
term.
as long as our primary goal and only goal as of now is to gain the market share, and that's why they're going aggressively in terms of adding the dark stores.
And that's how it should
That's how
work.
it
Yeah,
will
I
be,
think
I
in
think, at least in
the
the next
next,
1 to 2 years,
yeah.
because it will literally in the middle of this heightened competition area. And Blinkit does have an edge in terms of higher number of stores. Even average order value is there is around 700, where for
And
the
I
other two
think,
players it's 500 and 400 respectively for
yeah,
Swiggy
in
and
the range of
Zepto.
400 to 500.
Yeah,
Also, the number of orders, the average daily orders is also the highest for Blinkit. I think
yeah.
it's 1.2 million or something like that for Blinkit, and they are in the range of 800K to
Okay,
900K.
so the only player with above million
Yeah,
orders per day
is
as of now.
Blinkit.
Yeah, and I think the contribution margin, which is actually you remove all your fixed cost from your
From the revenue.
and then whatever remains is your contribution margin. It's a pretty common term
Metric or
metric
term
for
use.
this particular like a startup industry and all. So that is also Blinkit is the only company which is profitable on that margin, while Instamart is loss making and Zepto is also likely loss making. And but there's one also thing about the average order value in terms of Blinkit. They also introduce this electronic item nowadays.
हाँ bro
So
यार
you can
PS5
order
PS5 लेके आओ
PS5,
यार.
smartphone. So that what happens is that increases your average
हाँ obviously
because
यार
it's a very high ticket product. So
वो स्क्यू ही कर देगा डेटा
that
पूरा.
effect is also there in terms of Blinkit. Of course, Swiggy and Zepto also has those facilities, but in terms of edge, because I remember Blinkit was the first one to introduce.
Blinkit is, but that I've realized that Blinkit is always the first one, you know,
Yeah,
to bring
innovate,
in, innovate
very
in this
innovative.
field also. मतलब,
That is, I think, common across the Zomato brands, whether it's
हाँ,
Zomato food.
and they really know how to set the
Yeah,
narrative for these things.
they
है ना,
are
तसा
they are
Twitter पे
very
रील
smart in
पोस्ट है,
terms
हाँ,
of being in the conversation all the time.
yeah.
So कुछ ना कुछ तो चलता ही रहता है उनका. But I think yeah, so I think metric wise as of now, Blinkit is ahead in terms of execution, also a little bit in terms of profitability, while Swiggy and Zepto are closing the gaps in terms of the same metrics. So I think as of now, it might look that the Blinkit is winning this game, but only time will tell how this works.
So yeah, I think you're correct. You know, Blinkit currently is leading, and you know they are trying to catch
Hmm.
up to Blinkit, or maybe in the
Hmm.
future we can see if Blinkit falls behind, or one of the two other companies, you know, win the race. But all things what we talked about, you know, my question is, you know, how do I think, or how should one value such a company at this stage?
Yeah, because currently your question is also right because there is no profitability.
Yeah,
So PE वगैरह तो चलेगा ही नहीं.
earnings by
Not
negative है
even.
ना वही.
Yeah, yeah. So I think in this company we can just completely value them as a startup only as of now. So startup में biggest and highly used indicator is price to sales.
Hmm.
So as of now, I think Zomato trades at around 12 times price to sales. But of course, you can't value this particular in isolation. This valuation you can't look at it in isolation because there is also a food delivery business. There is also this district business that Zomato started, and then there is this I think that hyper district
Hyper pure, I
hyper
think.
pure. I
Hyper
think
pure.
that is B2B segment.
Hmm.
Then there is also this new B2B SaaS business. This just Deepinder Goyal launched a couple of days ago.
Nugget.
Yeah, Nugget. So there's so many things going on. But on the prima facie, Swiggy is turnaround trades around 6x price to sales,
Basically half of
half
what
of what.
Zomato
But
is
that
right now.
also explains that the leadership that the Blinkit has
Obviously.
and all. But I think one key indicator to look for valuation wise is the burn rate, cash burn rate, which is currently across the player is very high. So the one who is able to turn that around pretty quickly
Yeah, भाई
will
कम
have a
कैश में
clear
ज़्यादा
edge
मार्केट
in
शेयर
terms of
लेके आ रहा हूँ.
valuation going forward. Yeah. So I think the path to profitability as of now remains very unclear. And the question that should Blinkit or maybe Zomato should trade at a premium. We don't know, but market at least thinks so. That's why the double
Double the
valuation. Yeah,
valuation, yeah.
exactly. But I think on execution is very important in this
Yeah, I
industry.
think, yeah,
That will be the make or break thing for this
yeah,
industry going
because if
forward.
sudden, because markets are also very extreme, right? अभी दिख
Yeah,
रहा है कि सब metrics में Blinkit
it's a
ऊपर है.
scale first, profit later
हाँ,
stage
तो
currently.
Blinkit को valuation अच्छे मिल गए, but suddenly if
हाँ,
even if there is a one quarter का gap जो उसमें execution में
yes.
थोड़ा problem
As
आ
long
गया,
as that growth number
हाँ,
falls, as soon as that starts,
suddenly that
people will
valuation
have
gap will start
questions.
narrowing.
Very big question.
भले स्विगी का बड़ा है ना, but
Yeah.
Blinkit का value कम करके they'll at
Hmm.
least try and bridge that
And these are the companies
valuation gap.
generally taking first hit in terms of market downturns,
Yeah.
which we have already seen. So that why it might be a very high risk, high reward bet. But I think what can be an interesting thing is the correct strategy, according to me, is that just sit on the sideline as of now. There is no rush to invest. Let this battle go on. Let the dust settle. आराम से देखो अभी पॉपकॉर्न लेके मस्त और
Blinkit से ही मंगवाओ.
ब्लिंकिट से ही मंगवाओ एंड वंस दैट सेटल बिकॉज देयर विल बी अ साइन. तो इस इंडस्ट्री में जनरली क्या हो सकता है देयर माइट बी अ कंसोलिडेशन. अभी तो मार्केट पूरा ग्रोथ में है इसलिए एवरीवन इज ग्रोइंग एवरीवन इज हैप्पी एवरीवन इज बर्निंग कैश नाउ. As long as the market reaches near to the saturation point, that growth number that we just talked about, that will start to fall, and then there will be a real loser coming out. तो वहाँ पे there will be a pretty much a high chances of acquisition also, big player acquiring a smaller player.
वो crazy हो
In
जाएगा
that
यार
phase, a consolidation phase basically, that will be a very, जैसे telecom में हुआ था, there were 11 12 players. After the Jio came, we now know how many players are there. In that race, one might have a very better picture and a very better strategy to invest and benefit out of this company. Of course, there might be an argument कि फिर वहां तक का growth loss होगा तो उसका क्या, but फिर वहां तक का downfall भी loss हो सकता है. So that's your call to take, because
So
our job is to just
basically,
educate
yeah,
and entertain you guys. This is not a financial advisor and all, but that's a very smart strategy, at
yeah.
least according to me.
So basically, what you're saying is that अभी बहुत
Yeah,
सारे moving parts in this particular industry.
variables बहुत है.
हाँ, टेक योर टाइम, एक बार सब एनालाइज करो
Hmm.
बढ़िया, वेट जब तक ऐसा कुछ क्लियर साइन आता नहीं है कि हाँ भाई मैं ये दिख रहा है मेरे को क्लियर विनर इसके अंदर, या कुछ पॉसिबिलिटी कि दिस हैज अ सर्टेन एज जो अपन अभी डिस्कस कर रहे थे,
Correct.
वो अब क्लियर हो जाएगी नहीं यार इसके पास ये चीज का है इसकी वजह से ये बेटर है तब
Plus
तक।
there at that time we'll have a more option as well. जैसे Zepto भी आ जाएगा.
हम्म
Maybe
क्या
couple of
पता
other
चले वो
players.
बेटर
Yeah,
हो
we
जाए,
know.
हाँ, तो
तो
माइट एज वेल वेट टिल देन एंड
hmm,
देन चूज द करेक्ट प्लेयर।
yeah,
फेयर इनफ, मेक सेंस ऑब्वियसली,
yeah.
क्योंकि भाई
Until
मनी
unless
सेव्ड
unless
इज
you are खतरों का खिलाड़ी, then we are no one to tell you then in that case. But I
money saved is
think
also money earned,
yeah,
might as well, yeah.
might as well save the money rather than looking for earning it.
Yeah.
So might not be the best advice coming from a financial advisor, but that's what it is, and that I think is a wrap also for this video.
Yes.
So like, share, subscribe, press the bell icon, comment down how do you like the video, and we'll see you in the next one then.
And yeah, you guys can also give us some suggestions, right, on
Of
which
course,
particular stocks to work on. Yeah.
yeah, that
So,
is also there. So until next time, have a good one. Bye bye.